Right then lads, welcome back to another Green Army Away Days video, and today we're looking at the top 7 most underrated players in football. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up out the 7 is 27-year-old Jan Oblak of Atletico Madrid and Slovenia. He's previously at Ljubljana, Benfica. He's had several loans at several clubs and Atletico Madrid, where he has been for 5 years now. He's made 245 appearances for Atletico, and I seriously believe that if he was at a top club like Barcelona's or Liverpool's, he would be the best keeper in the world, or that'd be what he's known as. But for me, he is the best keeper in the world, so I had to put him on this list as I think he is significantly underrated. So next up is possibly a surprising one for you lot. It's Ben Mee of Burnley. Now Mee is at the heart of one of the Prem's best defensive units. This season he's made the third highest amounts of blocks and clearances in the Premier League. Tarkowski, his centre-back partner, gets heaps of praise, but we simply cannot ignore Ben Mee, who captains the Lancashire club and possesses a great work rate. Next up is Brazilian central attacking midfielder Tyson of Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, as I just said, Tyson plays for Shakhtar Donetsk and captains them in the Ukrainian Premier League. He has a superb combination of pace and skill when deployed either on the left flank or down the centre of the Donetsk midfield. He has a thunderous right foot and has shown amazing loyalty after being with Shakhtar Donetsk since 2012. It's completely bewildered me how no top sides have yet snapped up the 14-time Brazilian international. He is still linked with Roma, Inter, Arsenal and Chelsea, but now at the age of 31, unless Shakhtar is willing to sell him for a cut price, it's very hard to see him moving on. Once upon a time, Brazilian playmaker Oscar played his trade in the Premier League with Chelsea, where everyone learnt of his amazing talent, but he was once more outshone by Eden Hazard. He was still labelled as a wonder kid, however, but now he's playing in China, presumably for the £21 million a year paycheck. But I am still shocked that no European sides have made a move for the tricky central attacking midfielder so far. However, the wages have to scare them off. However, his contract does run out at the end of this year, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes in the future. Next up in the 7 is Danny Ings of Southampton. Now hear me out, people, because Ings' spell at Liverpool possibly tarnished the striker's reputation, and let's not forget how well he performs for those mid-table sides. Not many people can battle with Firmino, but since joining Southampton he has thrived under Ralph Hasenhüttl, scoring 15 goals this campaign. Abraham, Rashford and Calvert-Lewin getting all the plaudits and recommendations that Southgate should call them up to the Euros next year, but surely Danny Ings has to be on that plane. Now this one isn't going to go down well with Rangers fans, but hear me out. Next up on the list is Conor McGregor. Now McGregor contributes to a goal every other game for Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, having a 92% pass accuracy from holding midfield. For me, he's Scotland's best midfielder behind John McGinn at this moment in time. He's now aged 26, but he could still really put in a shift for a side like Everton in the Premier League. And to be fair, he's not went without his Premier League interest, with even this summer, before the season started, Brendan Rodgers' Leicester were very keen to bring him to the King Power. Next up, and finally out of the 7 main picks for underrated players, Dusan Tadic of Ajax. For me, he is massively underrated by fans across the world. Now, if Ajax Champions League run last season to the semi-final showed me anything, it was that Dusan Tadic would quite easily still bang in the goals for a top side. Maybe in the top 5 leagues perhaps. Of course, Tadic struggled for Southampton, so I never really quite realised while he was in England just how good he was until last season. So I had to include him on the list. I think I'm not the only one that underrated him at first, but now I've realised just how much quality he possesses. Now I thought I'd include some honourable mentions. First up, Joel Matip, Liverpool centre-half. He partners Van Dijk at the back on most match days, and that's possibly why he's underrated, that he's got the world's best centre-half, or one of the world's best centre-half. Don't want to start any debates in the comments. He partners him, so his quality and what he brings to that Liverpool back line is possibly outshone by the talent that he shares around him. So I think he deserves a bit more praise as well. We've also got Guangzhou striker Eran Zahavi. The Israeli international showed some prolific form from Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's moved to Guangzhou in the CSL and continued that, scoring around 98 goals in 111 games. And I do think that he deserves an opportunity now to come over to Europe, into one of the top teams, and try and prove himself here. Next up is Granit Xhaka of Arsenal. Now, he's come under a lot of scrutiny this season when Unai Emery was manager for some conflict between fans and off-field issues when given captaincy. But what he brings to the squad is a real leadership and some experience in that midfield. Now, of course, leadership when he was a poor captain might seem a bit sceptical, but he controls that midfield, and I do think he has so much talent that it goes underrated and missed by those Arsenal fans. Next up on the honourable mentions is yet another Arsenal player and yet another player that struggled under Unai Emery in Shakhtar Mustafi. Now, the German centre-half has had his fair share of criticism this season and, to be fair, has become a meme in the world of football. However, under Mikel Arteta, we're starting to see a confident centre-back come out of Mustafi, and I do think at the moment he might be slightly underrated. And the last of the honourable mentions is Paulo Dybala. Now, the reason why I didn't feature in the top 7 underrated players is because I think most football fans across the world do appreciate how much of a talented footballer this man is. However, Maurizio Sarri doesn't seem to see the same picture as us, and he is underrated massively by Sarri since he became manager, and that's why I thought I'd mention him. Thank you for watching then, guys. If you did enjoy this, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and comment what players you might have included on this list. And anyway, I'll see you in the next one.